Can you pay for things by just swiping your hand? What is our top 5 green things? And is it true that both of us are now engaged? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus, and today is a very special episode once again because joining me for the, I want to say 18th or 19th time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back multi-time guest, Jaron Parks. Jaron, how are you doing today?
Good as always, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So first off, I wanted to just go ahead and say, and we talked about this a little bit before, to congratulate you that you are now an engaged man.
Thank you very much, and congratulations right back at you.
Thank you.
Being engaged yourself.
We are right there together.
We're growing up, man.
And has it hit you yet?
Who, her or...
No. Oh, starting off hot today, physically and mentally.
Oh, you meant both. You meant...
No. Well, she might hit you later on. I mean, she might. If she has, then you know it's meant to be. But I would. I will.
You know what? You answer that first while I think about what I just said. Okay.
Okay. So what I was thinking, and I've thought about this, not every day, but pretty close at it.
Yeah.
That I have been engaged since March the 27th.
Yeah.
And thank goodness I remembered that day. And our anniversary is March 26th.
Nice.
So, I almost planned it on the same day, but I wasn't able to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank goodness, And then I was like, oh, if we plan a wedding, we should do it as March 28th. That's why I thought it was kind of cool, and have one of those, like, boards some people get where it's like 3/26. Started dating, 3/27 engaged, 3/28 wedding. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then we gotta go March, November.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's closer and it'll be already here. It hasn't hit me yet.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't hit me that I'm like. I mean, in less than almost 4 months, I'll be walking around with a finger. With a finger.
That's strange. No, I don't do that in my wedding tradition. That's not going to be in my ceremony. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like how you have like a keychain, and you can have many different things on like your keychain.
Where are you going?
Imagine like that, but it's like a finger.
Okay.
So like how this is a deep cut. So how in like Assassin's Creed, and in the newer games, but they place older in time, because they keep moving backwards, where they do the hidden blade and it cuts off the finger.
Yeah.
It's like that, but for a wedding.
Oh. Okay.
So you cut off the finger and you give it to the other person. And you say that.
Why are we running with this?
Look, I made a mistake and I had to keep going with it.
I was thinking
you got to keep up the bit.
I was thinking like in the new Robert Pattinson Batman, where he's got the thumb drive and it's literally a thumb.
Oh, I went Assassin's Creed.
But that's not very ceremonial.
That is true.
That was for a dead person, and I hope you don't die when you're.
No, this is the opposite. It's for a wedding.
That's right. That's right.
So,
anyways,
as I was saying, like in almost 4 months, I'm going to be walking around with a ring almost permanently on my finger.
Yeah, good job.
So
You got it out. Good job.
Like, thank you. It's a great honor to be able to do that. But yeah, like it hasn't. I know it's going to hit me on the day.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I got down on a knee, it was emotional. Mm-hmm. I didn't cry, though.
Yeah.
Did you cry? Were you a crybaby?
I don't think I did. Not at that moment.
It's an emotional moment.
Absolutely.
It really is. Like, I don't know how you did it, but I was like, we got in front of, like, this older church that's still used. It's not a church that I have been to. At least I went there when I was like 5 was the last time I went there.
Yeah.
But it's a nice like area and scenic area, and not too far from my house.
Yeah.
and I was dressed up, and she was dressed up. The thing was, she didn't expect it because I lied to her. Yeah. Like, and that's so weird too. To be like, you're not going behind her back, but you are, but it's for a good reason. You know. Yeah. So it's like it feels like I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. You know, it feels icky or whatever. You know. But I told her that we were dressing up to go to we're going to the warehouse. Yeah. And I was like, we got to dress up to go there. You know, I want to take you. You know, it's our 1 year anniversary, which was the day before. And then we went, and I drove around, and she was like, what are we doing? And then she thought that's what it was. And I was like, oh, actually, we're going in a few days. We're going to I want to take some 1 year anniversary pictures. So I kept it going until right when I got on a knee, you know. Yeah, it was emotional, but I don't think it's I realize that I am engaged, but I feel like it's not going to hit until that day, you know. And
the story of how mine went is that it was not the original plan. So, just
spicy.
Just because of circumstances, you know. I'm not going to disclose all that, but anyways, the word got out that I was going to propose to her. She knew I was going to do it. She didn't know when or how or where. She didn't know anything about it. She just knew in this maybe distant future I was going to propose to her.
Yeah, she knew the end game.
Yeah. Anyways, so we would just occasionally have conversations about it, you know, just this and that, and about married life and stuff. And she's like, you know what? I just want it to happen as soon as possible. And we were in my car when I said that. We were leaving church, and she said that to me, and I said, are you sure? And she said, yeah, I think I am sure. And I said, well, okay, because I could take a right now, be at my house in 2 minutes, go upstairs, grab the ring, and propose to you. And she looked at me. We're in the middle of the street, by the way. I just completely stopped.
It's like a movie scene.
Yeah. So I just look at her, and she looks at me, and we just stare at each other for a second. I don't think there was a car behind us. I don't really know. Anyways.
A real movie scene, like one street light, you're parked in the middle of the road and stuff like that.
Yeah. And she just said, that sounds pretty good to me. So it was in the driveway at my house where I proposed. Yeah.
Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
That's
real stuff.
That's
the original plan was to do it. What's today? The 22nd was 5 days ago on the 17th, and I was going to. I haven't got all the details lined out because it was May 14th, so I haven't gotten everything in order. The actual proposal was May 14th, so I had basically a whole nother month to plan stuff. Yeah. But I was going to get her friends up here around at the same time because we have some friends from Baton Rouge and some from DeRidder, and just get them all to the same area. But, you know, she FaceTimed them, so it's all good.
I mean, hey, you know, that's how it's going to happen, you know? And it's one of those things that's like some people, you know, can go all out. Oh, yeah. You know, for like the kind that's like you're at the beach or whatever, have a plane and have that big banner, you know, or somebody skywrite it or something like that, and have like, you know, get an organization or some big company involved in it, you know. I had a bunch of different ideas because you start thinking of that. Yeah. Once you're thinking of it, you're like, okay, what would be cool, you know. I had many different ideas that were going into it and stuff like that, you know, and
what's that inside of your Whataburger?
Here, do you want to try some of my shake?
Easy. Whoa.
Yeah. I never had an idea of like putting it in something.
That's not an onion ring.
What's that wrapped around? The mozzarella stick. Be careful.
It's out the grease.
It's true. Bite into it, it just burns your tongue. That's what I was so afraid of.
Yeah.
Was like, that was my thing, because I was like, if I put too much into it, there's more space for it to go wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Like all I did was literally get in my driveway, and I was scared of dropping the ring somewhere. You know.
Oh yeah, especially like if you got a gravel driveway and all that. It was
pitch
grass.
black too.
Yeah, and that's why it's like you better have a. That's what I even thought about. I was worried about dropping it. And I was like, I should like go on Amazon and buy a metal detector just in case, you know, or a big magnet or something.
And the only photo evidence of when it happened are these very awful pictures that my aunt took. These are like the most amateur pictures I've ever seen. You can barely make out who we are.
It's like a picture of like tonight.
It's like a security camera footage.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Look at this picture. These are the last time these people have been seen. Like that kind of thing. It's like those blurry photos you see on like a Netflix documentary.
Their
you
bodies
know?
were later discovered.
All we have is this ring. Oh man. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good story. I'll
Yeah.
have to think. That's something I'd enjoy telling my kids in the future.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's like, it's a story that, you know, like we just said, that it you want to put as much detail in it because you don't want to. Everybody, I think, from a guy's perspective, especially, is that you're afraid that it's going to be like not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, you don't want them to say no.
Oh yeah.
Duh, like that's the whole point, you know. But you don't want it to be like. You don't want to get to a point in 10, 15 years down the road after being married and be like, you know, I wish I did this.
Yeah.
You know, and I even said that about wedding. Once it happens, I said, once the wedding happens, it's going to be great no matter what. It don't matter, you know, what we do.
Yeah.
Whether we have this kind of cake or have these color flowers. I'm like, all that, you know, great ceremonial. I said, but one thing, everybody's going to be worried about us. We're the ones getting married. It's our day. And at the end of it, we're technically the first people who leave.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah, everybody watches us leave. So.
Yeah, exactly. All eyes are on us. I mean, we have like our own table.
Yeah.
We're at the VIP table, you know, so... Yeah, so you're kind of treated like a king and a queen the whole day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I feel like that's just pure guy's perspective, you know, like...
I think, for me, I'm just... down the road, I'm really going to enjoy how simple I made it, because I was like you. I was trying to make it as elaborate and to do as much as possible, and all the extravagance, which I know would have been appreciated, but at the same time, there's just something about doing it very simply. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, you want it to be extravagant, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not going to remember what's around me. I'm not going to remember what I'm wearing unless there's a photo.
I'm not going to remember what color balloons were next to me. You know?
Yeah, I'm probably not even going to remember who all was there, other than me and her. You know,
I can barely remember what I was wearing because the picture's so blurry.
Sure, you got to pull up the footage and see what you were wearing. But yeah. So yeah, I'm one day down the road. Especially after weddings, we'll definitely have wedding stories. And I mean, you probably have like honeymoon ideas and where you would like to go and places that both of y'all like or whatever. And it's depending on money and all that too.
So
you know?
what's it looking like for you guys?
As of right now, we have plans because we live 5.5 hours away from each other. So that's the difficult part. Yeah. So I know a lot of people, you know, some people are against this depending on your beliefs or personal reasons or whatever. We want to move in before marriage.
Okay.
Just so we can already be together. Yeah. And then the wedding will happen in November. And as of right now, we would like to go somewhere, but depending on money, it will depend. It may just be like a short weekend trip and then do like an actual week-long trip, honeymoon, like next summer to like the beach or something, you know.
Well, my grandfather on my dad's side, I asked him a while back what they did for their honeymoon, And he said, we went to Monroe.
Hey, my parents have the same kind of story. They didn't go on a trip until way later because they were living in an apartment, barely. They were the type of people that was like, when you walk out of the wedding and they throw the rice at you, they were the type to scrape all that up and boil it and have it for dinner that night.
Yes.
Like have some jambalaya for dinner.
That's right, yeah.
But they wanted to do just Justice of the Peace wedding. They didn't have a big wedding or any kind of wedding, actually. They couldn't do it in Rayville or Monroe because the courthouses were booked and they weren't available. Mm-hmm. They drove to Texas and couldn't, so they went up in Arkansas, got married, come back home and had Johnny's that night, and that was it.
There we go.
Just have... And I even said that.
That makes up for it being in Arkansas. They went to Johnny's.
They literally come back home, got Johnny's, went to bed that night, and went to work the next day. Huh. And that was it. They didn't go on a trip and probably another year or two after that, But that's our thing. I think the beach is most likely being eyed, but there's other places like Mount Rushmore or Grand Canyon or something.
Good morning, Mr. McManus. What'd you do last night? Got married. What?
I mean, it's true. I mean, ours is going to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And
ours is too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest day, in my opinion.
It was either going to be that or a Wednesday at 5 a.m. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez. I was about to say, good Lord. It's got to be that early. That way I can make it to work that day.
I could see your head going like, that's okay.
I mean, more power to you, but hopefully it's recorded. That way I can see it later. Put it on the Facebook Live, know.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were... It's good times, and now is the weird part. I consider it weird. The weird middle part.
Yeah.
The middle part of like, okay... We're not dating. You can't say like boyfriend or girlfriend. You're both fiance. And I wish there was a different word. Mm-hmm. I wish there was a word for like the man or the woman, or if whoever it is, to be, because you're like, oh, my fiance, but my fiance, like that.
And certain individuals may be like, well, what's his name? Like, leave me alone.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, because like you got your husband and your wife, you got your boyfriend and girlfriend, but you got your fiance and fiance.
Yeah.
They're engaged, not their boyfriend and girlfriend. They're just, you don't say, oh, they're fiance and fiance. You don't say that. But it's just the etiquette or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. So yeah.
The stinking French.
So yeah, mine's in November, and yours is in...
It's going to be March the 16th.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll have to meet again after that.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely be after episode 200 at that point.
Yeah.
So it'll be...
See, ours is going to be at our church that we go to in West Monroe, and our pastor is redheaded, okay? And it's going to be on March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day. I want him to wear a leprechaun outfit for the wedding, but I can't get Bailey to let that happen.
Would he do it?
No, he wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You gotta, if you mention it to him, then,
yeah,
you could sneak in a box of Lucky Charms, have something like that. Which is also something. My fiance is also redheaded, so. But yeah, more power to you.
Yeah.
And 2023, finally out of the pandemic, and we started the pandemic doing this. Mm-hmm. You were a guest on episode 2 and 12.
Yeah.
And this is 182. When we were, hey, we're going to go on a ski trip, and now we're like, hey, we're going to get married. So.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, ski trip or marriage.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I wanted to bring something up to you real quick.
Okay.
That the last time you were on I talked to you about was the palm technology of swiping your hand over something that you could pay for it instead of a card and all that. Well, I wanted to let you know and give you an update that is now a real thing.
Oh, great.
In Japan, of course it'd be Japan, in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. Or Kyoto or wherever in Japan, they now have it where you would scan your palm and you don't need to carry any cash, credit or debit cards, nothing. You don't even need to, at some point you probably don't even need to carry your ID.
Yeah.
You literally walk into whatever store and you go grab something, and then when they scan it and pay for it, you put your hand over it, beep, just paid for it.
Yeah. And I think one of the takes I didn't give you last time we talked about this is, my goodness, how much convenience do we actually need? Like, you can't pull your wallet out of your pocket and pay for something? Really?
Well, I mean, because everything's on the phone, and there's the new iPhone 15 is coming out this year.
Yeah.
And the iOS 17 is what's coming out this year too. And at the end of the year, when it fully comes out, you know how you can do Apple Pay and scan your phone? They have it now where you can put your ID in there, and when you need to show proof of ID, it's going to be on your phone.
Nice.
And they just scan it and be like, okay, you're over 21 or whatever, you know. It's mainly for buying alcohol or like lottery tickets or any kind of gambling, you know.
Yeah.
Or cigarettes or whatever, you know, something you can't buy until you're a certain age, you know. But yeah, so like in America, it's definitely getting to the point where you just need a phone.
Yeah.
Everything's in there. But if the phones were to go down, you know.
Good point.
I mean, before you know it, I mean, technically, the only thing you need an ID for is if you get pulled over.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, because it's going to be on your phone either way, unless they have a scanner thing for that. And also...
Or if you're dead, which I don't really think having something in your hand is going to help you that much at that point.
That is true. They're going to see a dead guy and they'd be like, who is he? Check his pockets for an ID. Oh, he only has his phone. I got to figure out how to unlock it. You know, they're not going to be able to ID you because your phone's going to be locked unless they do the Face ID and, like, hold it in front of your face. Like, open.
And it says, cannot open, person looks dead. That's what the phone says.
Dialing emergency services. But that's that new thing. I don't know if you saw about the Apple Vision Pro, their new VR headset.
Yeah, the ridiculously priced VR headset.
The $3,499 headset. The way it unlocks is that it scans your eyes like a secret agent movie, which is interesting. And I think iPhone will get to that, where you just put your eyes in front of the camera and it's going to scan your eyeballs. That's future.
Have you ever messed around with VR?
I only have at an arcade,
Yeah.
and I definitely felt like I got some disease from it.
Well, yeah. You probably did.
I mean, it's an arcade VR headset.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure I got multiple pink eyes.
Yeah. I mean, the most you can have is 2.
Well,
I'm sorry.
You know,
I can't help myself sometimes.
It happened, you know.
Anyways, I went to somebody's house that had a VR, and we played a Rick and Morty game.
Oh, okay.
And it was quite the experience. And I believe I accidentally hit my brother where the sun doesn't shine. And,
it tends to happen if you're not
Yeah.
fully experienced with the VR.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see my brother when I got the thing on.
And you're immersed into the world,
That's
you
right,
know.
that's right.
You're
Some of
in,
them have headphones too. And then
Yeah.
how would you ever know whatever's going on around?
and they're developing one that will go over the entire face, and you can smell the stuff in the game too.
That's dangerous.
It's true though.
What if there's a house fire? What are you gonna do?
It's mainly for, like, I would understand food, but I mean,
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in the real world, if your house is on fire, how are you gonna know that? If you have the ears, the eyes, and the nose hooked up.
they'll just put it in the warning.
Yeah.
Don't play this alone.
Okay.
You know,
That's
have
fair.
like a parent, guardian, spouse, or kid or whoever also be at home, you know.
That's fair. And then that's never mind. That's stupid. Let's keep
Don't
going.
leave the oven on or the burners on.
Yeah.
Don't leave the water running while you're playing VR. You know, but the thing was, with the Apple, you can see through it.
Yeah.
And it said, take it on airplanes. And I haven't been on an airplane since I was like 5. I feel like they wouldn't even allow it because it's the TSA. You know what I mean? They don't allow you bringing, like, toothpaste tubes onto an airplane. They really think you're going to bring a headset on there, you know?
If I see somebody walk onto an airplane with a VR thing on their face, I'm gonna roast them relentlessly.
Well, somebody
What's
who
up,
was
Tron? What are you doing?
Somebody made the joke of, like, they're going to be watching. You're going to sit down and they can watch if they can connect to the Wi-Fi or whatever that's there, and they're going to watch a movie that's like the Liam Neeson movie that was him fighting the terrorist on the plane.
Yeah.
They're going to watch plane related movie like Snakes on a Plane or anything like that. But yeah, like. It would be cool to have one. It does look cool. I do like it. Yeah. I do not like paying $3,500 for this.
I don't like paying $3,500 for anything.
That is true. And I did make this assumption. I was like, 15, 20 years ago, $3,500 would have gotten you a used car.
That's right.
And now it's an Apple headset. And then they started making those AI pictures of all the other Apple UFO and Apple Jetpack, and it was like introducing the Apple chair, and it was like $1 million. So like all that kind of stuff,
it's ergonomically perfect.
The Apple car, $2 million, because it's just all their stuff is outrageously priced.
I don't even know if this is true or not, but Apple did try to reach out to Elon Musk to start a Apple car together, and Elon just turned him down because he's Elon and he can do that. Anyways,
Elon would seem like the person to turn down Tim Apple, so, but,
if Apple came to me and said, hey, I want to pay you some money and let's make a car, I'd be like, I don't know how a car works, period, but I'll give it a try.
That is true. Well, Apple wouldn't come to any...
What is a motor?
Apple wouldn't come to any of us around here to learn how to make something because they would just go over to China to make it for real cheap. So anyway...
Oh, roasted. Boom, roasted.
You're getting your iPhone fresh off the sweatshop. So anyway,
moving on.
So yeah, I did want to ask you real quick. Do you like chocolate?
Do I like chocolate? You asked like you haven't met me before.
Are you a fan of like plain Hershey bars?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can't if I eat something chocolate nowadays, I gotta have like something in it.
Man.
Like peanut butter or...
You've been overstimulated by chocolate. You need more.
I do need more. And that brings us to what we're going to do today.
I do like chocolate, Todd. That's what you were asking me, and I am a fan of chocolate.
So I wanted to ask you, we have got two things to review here today.
Yeah.
And one of them is Twix. Now, are you a fan of Twix?
Oh,
is it
absolutely.
like one of your top candy bars, probably?
I would say
like a regular
this
Twix
might be number one for me.
This one specifically flavored Twix.
No, just regular Twix, but this is a really good version of Twix.
Oh, okay. So we have the salted caramel Twix, share size, and the other one we have is...
We're going to put that
the other one we have is Kit Kat Duos, Mocha, and Chocolate.
And it's a little bit warm at the moment because, we live in Louisiana. So we're just going to let that sit up here by the vent. Here,
we got to let it...
I'll open this.
Let it cool down for a minute.
Yeah. But this Twix should be in decent shape. But the salted caramel, I would say that's like a teal packaging on the salted caramel Twix.
And I got the share size, which are the bigger ones.
Just so people can recognize what we're about to consume here.
That is true.
So, yeah.
I haven't had a Twix in a very long time, and I already know these are going to get dirty. So, first off, I'm going to give you some napkins.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Taco Bell napkins.
Oh. Fancy.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Go for it. That's for you. Okay.
Put this in the shade. Oh!
This one's for me.
All right.
Let's do this.
So,
just gonna...
Twix salted caramel. Let's try it. Interesting.
Now, this is a first for me on the Toddcast. Literally everything else you've gotten me to try, I have never eaten before. This is the first time I've eaten both of these things because I like chocolate.
Well, every time I bring you something, it's always like a weird gummy candy or something, like like the Nerds clusters that time.
Try these booger flavored Pringles. This is such a welcome change time.
You know, I like to help, you know. I like to bring good stuff around. I was looking, and there wasn't much to choose from where I went to, because I'm trying to choose stuff that I haven't had, and I haven't had either of these. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had these, and these will probably be good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to gas stations and be like, you know what? Out of all this candy, what seems like it would suck?
Well, I appreciate that, Todd.
I mean, that does have a better reaction of the, oh, it's gross. You know, people find that hilarious, you know.
If you would have gotten them stinking wasabi peanuts, I would have left.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. Well, it's because the main thing I was not going to get, because I was like, okay, what is the thing he doesn't like? I was like, okay, I'm not going to get sour candy. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's the only thing.
Much appreciated.
Because I was like, I may do Reese's, but I've already done a bunch of the Reese's. One of them that has, you know, the potato chips in it and all that kind of stuff.
Well, are you a fan of this?
I do like it. Mm-hmm. I wish it wasn't as melted, but...
You know, you take what you can get.
I mean, in Louisiana, you have to eat chocolate in the winter because of how hot it is.
Yeah.
But on the scale of 0 to 100 with no decimals, where would you rate this?
With Twix probably being my favorite of all the candy bars. This is probably my number one candy bar. And then the salted caramel being a variation of that. This is going to get a 93 from me.
Wow. 93.
Yeah.
So we'll be averaging our scores together. I like this. I haven't had regular Twix in a while. Mm-hmm. I would say that this, from a very long ago memory of having Twix, I would go out on a limb and say that this is a better version of regular Twix.
Yeah.
I would probably, if you handed me one of either the regular and this, I'd probably choose this first. I'd probably still eat the Twix, but I would just eat this first.
Give me both.
Because it's like, give you two things that you like, just which one are you going to eat first, you know?
I'm just imagining a kid walks up to you and say, I want one of these, but you can have the other one, and you just grab both of them.
It's like, oh, I'll eat this one first, but thank you.
That's not what, get away from me.
Where are your parents?
Scram, kid.
Anyways. So you gave it a 93. Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite candy bar. My favorite candy bar of all time is the Reese's Fast Break candy bar. I love me some peanut butter.
Those are pretty good.
I would have to give this, I would still give this a solid 84.
Yeah.
So
that'll average out to, I'm going to guess, 87.
88.5.
88.5.
So 88.5 for the Twix salted caramel.
Yeah.
And next up we have is the slightly melted Kit Kat Duos Mocha plus chocolate.
I've been doing my best rotisserie chicken impression over here and trying to cool this Kit Kat down.
It's really like we just need to skewer it down the middle to complete the rotisserie.
Yeah.
So Kit Kat, for some reason, I don't know what they put in their chocolate, but it melts so easy.
It does. It
like
really
as
does.
Soon as you open, like before, like you buy it and it's already pre-melted.
Now with this one being a mocha, you need to smell this before you taste it.
I don't like chocolate. I don't like coffee.
Chocolate? What are we doing?
Just gave Twix such a high score and I don't like chocolate. No, I don't. I do not like. Oh Lord.
This is bad shape here.
Oh well, let me grab one.
That's not.
I
how
might not
chocolate
like
is
it, so
supposed to
you.
act.
I might not. Oh, I might not like it, so you may have to just have the rest.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's got.
Oh man, that's like right off the tree or whatever they get coffee from. Good Lord. Wow.
I do like these. I'm going to go ahead and say beforehand.
Well,
I am a fan of
I do not like coffee. Good Lord. I hate the smell of it.
Here we go.
All right.
No.
Oh.
You know what?
Try to power through it.
You know what, Todd? Just for that, you can get sour candy next time. Okay? I'll allow it.
It's too late. I can't spit it out. It's already melted.
There's nothing to spit out. It's already liquid in your mouth.
Oh. Because if we waited any longer, we would have had to drink the Kit Kats. Oh, there goes a Tesla. So, you already know it's going to get a lower average than the Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Because
you're not a coffee man.
I'm not a coffee person. I don't want to hold it too much against it. I mean, you like coffee, and
I mean, you're free to have your own opinions here. You just don't like it. There's nothing wrong with that.
That is true, so if you don't like coffee, don't try this.
Yeah.
If you like coffee,
try it.
There you go.
I like it.
So, what would you give this from 0 to 100?
Well, it definitely isn't all the way up there with the salted caramel Twix for me.
No.
Well, don't agree with me. We're not the same person here, Todd.
I'm out of Diet Coke.
Oh, no. But I'm going to give that a solid 74.
74. Well, I don't like it. And I don't like coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. It just basically, it just tastes like they poured coffee on a Kit Kat. That's exactly, you dipped your Kit Kat into your cup of coffee.
It's about that consistency, too.
Oh, well, now it is, since it's quote-unquote 89 degrees outside. I would probably, as somebody who doesn't like coffee, I would have to just give this a 40.
Okay.
Because
that's pretty generous, honestly.
It's generous. It's to the point where I was thinking about spitting it out, but by the time I wanted to, the only thing left was the wafer, because it was the only solid piece left after the chocolate.
Yeah. So there is some redeeming qualities.
It's an average of 57.
Yeah.
So it does have it's a duo, so it's one flavor on top, one flavor on the bottom.
Yeah.
It has the chocolate on the bottom, which is the first thing I got where I was like, oh, milk chocolate.
So if you would have ate it upside down, you would have probably given it a lower score.
If I would have just had it like a popsicle and it was just the one side, the chocolate side.
This couldn't be more opposite than a popsicle.
I mean, you just put the stick on it or like a toothpick.
Yeah.
And then just lick the chocolate side and none of the mocha.
Yeah.
But it's still the smell too, because I know a lot of people will probably and you might agree with this, that you love the smell of coffee. If you wake up in the morning and have that pot of coffee.
I know a lot of people that don't like the taste of coffee, but they still like to smell coffee.
I don't like either one of them. I remember waking up in the house and my mom making coffee, and it was, but it's the same thing. I don't like coffee, but I do like the smell of gasoline.
Oh, I do too.
And I don't know why.
I like Sharpies too.
You like Sharpies?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I like Sharpies, but I wouldn't turn down a good sniff.
That's a very Theo Von take right there.
I mean, when I thought of it, I was thinking it was a good Joe Biden take. But anyway.
That was also a good Theo Von take.
The Bidenator. So that is an 88.5 for the salted caramel Twix.
Yeah.
And a 57 for the Kit Kat Duos, mocha and chocolate.
I think there's a clear winner here.
Oh, yeah. The Twix salted caramel is definitely high ranking. I mean, it's 88.5. I mostly give things anywhere in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
There's not many things that go into the 90s for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless I really like it. So, next up, and basically to end this episode, but for a while, we're going to be doing another top 5 draft. So the way this works, if you haven't listened to the ones before, is that we will take turns going one at a time, drafting like your regular NFL draft or any sports draft. We will be drafting our top seeds, I guess you could say, of up to 5, going one at a time. And the topic or the category of things we are going to be drafting are anything green. So the last time Jaron and I did this was anything red. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to be doing anything green. Jaron won the coin toss last time and he got to go first. So to honor that, I am going to go first this time. And at the end, after we have both picked our 5 things, we will have the ability to trade.
Yeah.
So
let's do this.
So I will be going first. My first round green draft pick, I am going to and we can discuss depending on the green of it, of anything. My first round draft pick is going to have to be money.
I didn't even put that down. That's genius.
I will be taking all of the money. any money that is green, which is mainly U.S. money and other like foreign currencies.
Looks like I'm stuck with change.
Well, you can have any of the other countries' money that are like red or anything like that. It's mainly U.S. money, but there are, some bills in other countries like China and Japan that they're different colors, and one of them just happens to be green, Yeah. But any money that is green, I will be taking.
That's a goated pick right there.
So
that's insane.
Jaron, what is your first round draft pick?
I'm going to select with my first pick. I'm going to keep it as a draft should be and very sports themed. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers.
And this is interesting. You may not know this. The Green Bay Packers are the only team that does not have a singular owner. So I am changing that. What they do, it's very interesting. People buy shares of the Green Bay Packers.
Kind of like stocks or something.
Yeah, but there's no reward for it. They do it out of love for the team. They don't even get tickets or anything in return for it. It's basically like paying...
It's just kind of investing.
Yeah, pretty much. But with no return. There's literally no return.
It's a charity.
Pretty much. The Green Bay Packers is a charity.
It's like it'd be like you donating to St. Jude. Now you want a piece of St. Jude.
Yeah. And because of my firm affection for charities, I'm going to change that.
I want a return on investment.
But yeah, Green Bay Packers.
So are you going to keep the shareholders, or are you going to just throw all of them out because you own all of it? Yeah. So you could be the sole owner, and now you can make all the millions of dollars.
That's right. If I'm the owner, forget everybody else. I don't want you to feel like you have a say at anything.
Yeah, you have a say of literally anything. You just walk in there into the boardroom and can kick everybody out, and now you're the only sole owner of the Packers.
Yeah.
Unless you want to keep one or two guys around or whoever, I'm
going to walk in there and say, you know what? We're not wearing helmets anymore. Just go out there.
You might no. You don't own the NFL. You own only the Packers.
Fair. That's fair. You're right.
You only own the Packers.
That's fair. All right, you're up next.
So, my second round draft pick was going to be my number one, but then I thought of money, and I had to go with money as number one because why not? So, I am going to take my second round draft pick is going to be Spotify. They are green.
Good one.
So I have Apple Music and Spotify.
Nice.
You own YouTube.
I do have YouTube.
You do have YouTube from the last time, but I have Apple Music and Spotify, so I have both the biggest music platforms other than YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have money and Spotify. You have the Packers. What is your second round draft pick?
My second round draft pick, and this is one that I have no debate about. I'm taking Ireland.
Okay. Good pick.
If Ireland's known for anything, it's the color green.
It is the color green. I mean, it's on their flag.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's respectable.
I did not think of that, but I do respect it. Ireland and the Packers. You can move the Packers to Ireland. They can now be the Irish Packers.
The Irish Packers.
Or the Lucky Packers.
That's right.
There you go. So
this is interesting.
I have it is quite an interesting list already. So going along with money and Spotify as my third round draft pick, I think I am just going to have to go on and pick it. I'm going to have to go ahead and take anything Xbox.
Oh, Xbox.
Because Microsoft isn't green, but I will be taking Xbox, which is including all of the consoles, their entire history, all of their games that they own, the Game Pass in its entirety. Basically, anything branded that is Xbox is coming along with me. So
that's a good pick.
So, what do you got?
I'm going to go with cacti.
So, all
cactus.
All cactuses.
Yeah. And I'm going to explain here. Because here recently, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's these two brothers in Mexico that have recently discovered a way to turn cactus into leather. And they're about to start making clothing brands out of it.
I feel like I've heard something about that.
Like there's a few pictures
cactus
of
leather
handbags and stuff that they've already made. But they're about to really take off because they figured out how to make leather out of cactus.
Yeah,
imagine the troves of vegans that are going to come to this.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have like the animal activist on your side because of this, you know.
Yeah. But that's my next pick. Is
interesting.
cactus.
All cactuses. Yeah. So literally the world's, and that's a lot of cactuses across the world. That's a lot, you know. You will have to figure out what currency you want to sell it in, because I own money. So
it's like it's going to be pesos.
It's going to have to resort to Fallout and be bottle caps. So, so I have money, Spotify, and Xbox, and my 4th round draft pick. You know, the thing itself may not be green, but what is around it is green. I'm going to have to take Sprite.
Nice.
Because, you know,
the bottles used to be green.
Yes. I used to think that it was a debate between Sprite and Starry, and I picked the one that didn't suck, so I'm taking Sprite. Because that's
a pretty easy pick.
Sierra Mist would have been a better pick than Starry, but they killed it because Pepsi hates people. So
yes, they do.
There you go. They love my 1st round draft pick, which is money.
How can we better not satisfy our customers?
Look, our main drink, literally named after our company, already tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
So how else can we make our customers hate us? Why don't we just get rid of the only thing that tastes like a Coke product?
Yeah.
And try to make it more fruity and bad, and let's give it a terrible name.
Yeah. Well, with my next pick, this is the 4th one, right?
Yes.
I already have all the vegans and the activists on my side. So.
And the Packers.
So my next pick, I'm going to go with the white girls on this one. I'm taking John Green, the writer of Fault in Our Stars.
John Green.
So now I've got all the white girls
you
on
own an author. You own a man.
Hang on, I didn't think this through.
Well, but technically, I mean, you could say you own him, which is, I mean, it's not slavery, but, you know. Anyway, you can basically be like, he works for you.
Well, like, you know how Adam Sandler is basically employed by Netflix at this point.
That is true. It's like John Green signed a lifetime contract with you.
Okay.
Is what it is. So
that
anything
sounds so much better.
Anything he does starting now, you get a portion, or you get all of the money from the sales, and then you give him as much as you want.
Yeah.
You have a salary
Here's
set.
John Green. Here's $5.
Well, I own the money, so you got to give him.
Oh crap!
You got to give him
$5 in quarters.
You can only pay him in change. You had good return on your books. John, here's $100 in quarters. Just bring it in, boys. Bring it in, just a 5-gallon bucket of change. So, you know, I didn't think of that. Hold on, I do have to look something up, though, first.
Okay.
Because my 5th round draft pick may have just changed. So, yeah, it has changed. So, my last and final 5th round draft pick was a pick that I didn't think about until just 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When you said it was for all the white girls out there. And you picked John Green, which is, you know, a dark horse pick. I didn't expect that. You know, I didn't even think of him. You know, I kind of forgot about it. So, what I thought you were going to go with is what my 5th round draft pick is going to be, and my pick is Starbucks.
I have it written down here. I should have went with that one first. But, well, we got to fight over the activists now.
Look, you have an author that you only pay in change, and I have the main coffee place in the world.
Todd the coffee lover on the Starbucks.
yeah, the guy who loves coffee. I just go there for the lemonades, all right?
Okay.
They have, and you get the ones that they like mix the ice into and make like a slush kind of, you know? That's the real good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's respectable. I should have went there first. I made a mistake.
Hey, you made your pick. You wanted to own somebody, okay? So that's not my fault. Hey, that's not, you know, that's what you wanted. Okay. So he is green. So your final pick.
My final pick is going to be turf.
Oh, the fake grass?
Fake grass.
Oh, you know, I did think of that. turf.
Because there's people that put it in, like, their backyards now. Like, it's not just for teams.
I've heard that for a while, that there was, like, a few people.
Like, people that, like, live in Las Vegas, obviously they can't have an actual grass lawn. So they put turf down in their backyard.
That way it still looks good.
Yeah.
And the better, I even thought about that, just doing it around here, because I wouldn't have to mow the yard. Duh, you know.
Yeah. There's no reason to.
So
I didn't want to pick, like, grass or trees, because that just seems a little wrong, you know.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, I do have a few things that I was going to pick.
I don't draw the line at owning people.
No, you only own person. Okay.
Singular person.
You didn't pick, like, a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, that makes it so much better.
And you only own one person who's an author. And yeah, you know, the writer strikes happen, and you gotta get what you get. You know
what you gotta do.
Hey, they wanted to get paid more money. You're paying him only in change.
That's right. That's all I can do.
So, well, you lose. I do have a few that I've written down that I thought about.
Yeah.
Grass was one of them. And I was going to say trees, but when I think of trees, you know, you think of the green like we're seeing, but the actual tree isn't green.
That's right.
It's brown.
You have to say leaves.
Yeah, you'd have to say leaves, but that means that's one thing you own that dies every year.
Yeah.
It has to regrow, you know. I did think of grass, but then I did think of the fake grass. And another one I thought of when you said fruit punch flavor the last time, I was thinking of taking all the lime flavor.
Yeah, or green apple would have been.
Exactly, yeah, because like they brought the lime Skittles back and limes in general and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's not much else that was green that I could think of.
This was a roller coaster of a draft here.
It really was. So I'm going to go down, and then we can decide if either of us want to trade or anything. You have the Green Bay Packers, Ireland, Cacti, John Green, and Turf. And I have money, Spotify, Xbox, Sprite, and Starbucks.
Well, I'm in no position to trade here, so if you want something, we'll see what happens.
You know, I do have my eye on John Green. Not really.
See, you got all your stuff, but you got nowhere to put it. I got a whole country to put stuff on.
Well, like I've said before, at the end of the year, we'll probably have another episode where we draft things, and we'll take all of our draft, pull it together, and then we'll go over and see which overall team is better.
Yeah.
So it's like I have my red and you have your red. I have my green, you have your green. And if we all keep it together, like it's the multiverse of drafts or whatever, you do have Ireland, but I do also have Mars.
That's true.
I have a planet.
I didn't think about that. That's true.
I own a planet, you know. At least you weren't John. He picked a bird.
Oh, my gosh. I could have picked Earth because it's green.
It's mainly green. The last one I did with him, I did the oceans.
Yeah.
Because it was blue, and he had no problem with that, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I went more with the capitalist route on this one.
Yeah, you did
I'm very money forward. I mean, if you look over everything I have apples. I did Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Spotify, Apple Music, money, Sprite, Xbox.
Yeah.
I didn't even do PlayStation the last time for Blue. Your list is very interesting.
Thank you.
I will say that it is quite the list.
Nobody thinks the way I think.
Like I said before, I do think that John Green was a sleeper pick. and you did give me the idea for Starbucks, so I will thank you for that. But yeah, so how are you feeling after all that?
I botched it.
You botched.
There's no way around it.
Who knows? At the end of the year games, the draft games that we're gonna have, who knows? We might have to pull up one of those they have this website that you can like make your own Hunger Games or something. Yeah. Who knows? You might have to have like John Green team up with the Packers or something, you know, to go in the Hunger Games or something, you know, or have like a full on like death battle or like a Fortnite battle royale or something like that, you know. Have all of them drop into one area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our green picks, and I think that's going to do it for this episode. Jaron, anything you want to leave us off on?
How long is it usually between my visits here? If it's every 10 episodes, and that'll be...
That's 10 weeks, because it's weeks. One a week.
Okay. Well, we won't be married by the time we're not...
No,
we and you will not be married.
We won't be.
So we at least have one more where we can sit down and talk about our premarital life, you know. And then after that,
10 weeks from now, this is in June or July, depending on when this episode comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And that 8 weeks is 2 months. So it's about 2.5 months. So that would be towards the end of September, beginning of October. And then after that, it'll be like late December, early January.
Yeah.
Which will be 202. And then by the episode around, I think it'll be like the week of, before or after, will be 212. I haven't done the math yet, because I'd have to do the math for like 40 weeks in advance, But the idea of that, but this time next year, I will be close to a 1-year anniversary of wedding.
Yeah.
And you will have already been married too.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. We're growing up.
We're getting older.
That's right.
I turned 24 in 2 months or 3 months.
Wow.
I'm getting old.
Well, I'm not far behind you. I go with the years. I'll be 24 and 24.
I'm one more with the years, since I was in 99. So
yeah.
So yeah.
It's always been a pleasure as usual,
Yeah.
Good time talking to you every time.
Well, yeah. And we'll have another draft in the future, and if anybody has any idea, they can leave it in the comments if they want to. We could pick with another color, or we could go with any kind of like movie franchises or something like that, or our top 5 that we like or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Jaron, nice seeing you again.
Let's just not draft people. That's not a good idea.
I was going to make a joke, but I didn't know how far I wanted to go with it. So yeah. Well, I'll just leave it off at that. They can guess what I was going to say. You can guess. If you've listened to me before, you can definitely guess. Top 5 of what we were going to do. And put that in a fight.
Yeah.
So, Jaron, nice as always, and thank you for being on.
All right.
As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @_Toddcast_ for all your Toddcast social media needs. Make sure you tell your friends and your family, or anybody really, to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.